that's definitely a first.
I've never had an apple core break while trying to cut an apple. What do I think of this food for this day? And this is the first meal of 2024 and the first meal on the Daniel fast. We've got oranges, blueberries, raspberries, almonds, apples, and strawberries. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to eat all this food, but I didn't show it in the video, but I did wash all of it. So all this has been washed. I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna film myself eating this. That just seems weird. But I'll check back with you when I'm done. Done. But I did have some help.
Now that you've seen the first meal that we've ate on the Daniel fast, I do want to talk about what the Daniel fast is and exactly what we are going to be doing over the next 21 days. And so this video is the first full day of eating. I'm going to show you everything that we eat today as a part of the Daniel fast. You can really find all kinds of information about the Daniel fast through books, through other YouTube videos, and through just an online search. It'll show you everything you're allowed to eat and everything you're not allowed to eat. But if you just watch these videos over time, you'll be able to see the things that we eat and realize what you can and can't. But basically, like I said, fruits, vegetables, some nuts, and the only thing you can drink is water. And I'm gonna be honest, that's probably gonna be the hardest thing for me. I'm not a big soda drinker. I don't drink a lot of even sugary drinks, but I do drink a lot of decaf black coffee and a lot of unsweet tea. And so it's gonna be hard to transition off of those and just into water. But I know at the end of this, it's gonna be worth it. And the Daniel fast is derived from the Bible. We see it in Daniel chapter 1, is where we get the whole concept and the idea from this. And it's when Daniel and his 3 friends were taken captive by King Nebuchadnezzar. And they were raised up to be wise men, and they were told to eat of the food of the king's table. But the meat and the wine at the king's table would have been offered to idols. And Daniel and his friends did not want to defile themselves. And so they went to the eunuch in charge of them and said, please allow us to only eat fruits, vegetables, and to only drink water. And at first he didn't want to do that, but he said, test us. Come back to us at the end of a week and see if we do not look better than those who have been eating of the king's table. And they did. God honored them and their decision to not defile themselves through food offered to idols. And so he blessed them and he made them stronger and better than those other people. And so now when we do the Daniel fast, we do it as just a way of drawing closer to God, giving up good things. It's like a long-term fast of giving up what you could call pleasant food, even though it's not really healthy food, but giving up food that's, food that most people would choose in order to focus on God, to give glory and honor to God, and to seek after God. And that's really the best way that I think that we can start the new year. Now I'm gonna get ready and set up and record the podcast. Thankfully, right now it's super easy because I don't have any video stuff, but there will be a video coming out soon of unboxing all that stuff and setting it up for the first time because it is coming. All the parts to make the podcast, a video podcast, is coming. But right now, let's set up the audio-only version. Welcome back to the More God, Less Me podcast. And really welcome to 2024. My name is Justin Lee. If we want to experience the best this year, then we need to not try to come up with what we think would be the best, but we need to seek the plan of God, the plan that He has for us. The truth is that none of us have the wisdom, the knowledge, or the understanding to plan out our own lives. We don't know what lies ahead. But if we want to live our best lives for God, then we need to go to the one who knows best, the one who can see beyond what we can see, who is able to weigh every option and lay out the plan with the best outcome. We need to turn to God and praise God that we have the opportunity to do just that. We should be thankful that we don't have to try to navigate this crazy, painful, broken world alone, but can be guided by God Himself. The podcast is recorded, and if you can hear it behind me, it is also exporting. We're going to get that uploaded, and then we're going to look through this space, excuse this super squeaky chair, and we're going to make some updates because this is going to be the studio for the time being. We do have plans for our basement
to become a student at some point, but that's going to take a lot more work. And so we're going to start doing a few things today in this office to make it the YouTube studio. But before that, it is time for lunch. So it's time for the second meal on the Daniel fast. And we've been so busy, no snacks or anything like that. Honestly, not really my thing. We did eat some pistachios with breakfast. I apologize for not showing you those, but let's get on to the next meal. Let's see what lunch has for us next. We've got tomato, avocado, and then I've got corn steaming in the microwave, and I've got some peas. Obviously, the goal is to not eat processed food, but frozen things like that are not heavily processed. They don't have additives and things in them like that. They're fresh, frozen. You want to be specific to buy those kind of vegetables. I was also having to be careful. I did buy some canned goods just to make life easier on this. It's still vegetables, it's still things, but I got things that didn't have additives, that were in natural things. And the same thing with dried fruit. I looked at dried fruit, but a lot of dried fruit has sugar in it, and so we had to avoid those. It's a lot of no processed things like that, but having things that go in the microwave to steam some vegetables and things like that, completely fine on the Daniel fast. I'm also going to throw some different nuts, some almonds and pistachios on the plate as well. I kind of wanted to go unsalted. I don't think that salt would be a big deal in the Daniel fast, but personally, I just didn't want salt on everything as we were going through this, and so I went for all unsalted nuts. But I think this will be a pretty good lunch, fairly well-rounded. This guy over here just rubbing chicken nuggets in everybody's face. It's really a joke. I'm not really wanting chicken nuggets right now, but I'm sure in a few days, by the end of this week, those will smell really good. Here's the finished product. Went ahead and threw some carrots on there for good measure. Got nuts, got the wife's plate, but that's the finished product. And here's the real finished product. So we're 2 meals into the Daniel fast. What do you think so far?
I've enjoyed it so far, and I think that's partially because of all the bad food we've ate leading up to this.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely pre-gamed. Made sure that we were tired of other stuff first.
Yeah, so this has been very refreshing. So, yeah. So far, so good.
The other thing that I try to do on any kind of plan like this, because I've done like the Whole30, and I've done no processed food for a whole year and things like that. And the way that I always start things like this is variety. So a bunch of like small quantities of a bunch of different foods, which is how you've seen my plates. And then also not really limiting myself on the things that I'm allowed to have. So like the things you're allowed to have, eat as much of it as you want at first, so that way you can wean off a little bit later, but you don't burn out as quickly. Like you just find things you enjoy on whatever plan, or like when you're on the Daniel fast, because even on this, it's not a diet plan, obviously, but it's also something you want to succeed at, and you don't want to not enjoy it and dread it the whole time. So you need to find things that you can eat that you really enjoy and focus on those things, and just focus on not limiting the quantity at the first of it. You can limit the quantity later and be good about your macros and things like that later, but in the beginning, just eat what you enjoy, because it's going to make it easier in the long run, and you're not going to fail at it. So now we are going to work on the office a little bit. Like I said, I want to make this into the YouTube studio. I know this doesn't have a lot to do with the Daniel fast, but this is also kind of like a vlog, day in the life type thing, including everything that we eat in the Daniel fast. So I figured we'd include things that we're doing today. So step 1 is remove the dog's crate, big dog. But we've been training her to not need to be in it as much, and so we're going to be able to take this out, and I'm actually going to bring my bike trainer up here because I think it would actually look good in videos. And then we have the bookshelf over here, which I think could make a nice backdrop, but as you can see, has a lot. And so we're going to tackle those two things today. Long term, this weird light that says peace, wish, joy, like those are all good things, I guess, but this strange light hopefully will go away at some point. The fan doesn't actually even really work. And then some kind of window situation for where, like today it's an overcast day, so the phone's doing pretty good on the video side, but on really bright days that doesn't work. So long-term goals, blinds, fan, paint, but today we'll tackle what we can tackle, which is making a nice background out of this bookshelf, mainly this corner. So trying to dress up like these two shelves from about here up, so that way on videos it looks good. So we'll see what we can accomplish. all looks much better. I'm still not sure how great of a backdrop it's going to be for different video projects, but I think that it could work. We'll give it our best shot, and then if it doesn't work out, we'll just change it again. We do have the bike in here, which I do think having the right angle of that. Oh, I didn't take the seat cover off. There we go, much better. Having the right angle with that in the background, trying to excuse the cat food bowl. It's there. Could be fairly interesting. I'm really not sure what we're gonna do with these pictures right now. We normally rotate, so like we'll have these out in the living room at some point, but they're just up here for right now. But I've also got some stuff coming to hang a bunch of like the albums that we have, like Christian albums. So maybe we'll put those in here, maybe we'll put them out there. We haven't really decided yet. And then we need to pick a wall color that we think would look better than boring old tan. We've had to replace tan in pretty much every room in this house, and this is one of the last rooms that needs to get rid of the tan. So if you have any ideas for a color we should choose, let us know in the comments below. But it's about time to start preparing dinner. Next meal's dinner, and that is going to involve a lot of smoked goodies. As you can see, we've already started the smoker, and we're going to start by throwing on some baked potatoes and baked sweet potatoes. And if I can find them here, potato nails. If you know, you know, and if you don't, these go in the center of all the potatoes, and then you are able to have a quicker bake on your baked potatoes. So I'm gonna throw these in, and then in a few minutes we'll go to throw them on the grill. All the nails are in. Obviously these aren't huge potatoes, so the nails are made for normal baking potatoes, but I think it's gonna work. And I also did a great job of lightly salting not just the potatoes, but also the entire cooktop. So I showed the baked potatoes that are gonna be part of dinner, but what are you working on?
I'm gonna make some chickpea patties out of garbanzo beans or chickpeas.
I honestly never knew that they had two different names until we started eating them. Normally you would make these with egg as a binder, but obviously on the Daniel Fast we can't do egg. So how is this experiment in chickpea patties working out?
I mean, it's okay thus far. They're starting to run a little bit as it's heating up, but I think it'll turn out all right. We'll see.
I'm hoping.
I made plenty, so if this gets messed up, I can readjust.
Smell-o-vision's not a thing, but those smell surprisingly great right now. And chickpeas are important because you still have to get protein, even when you're on the Daniel Fast. Oh man, I missed the flip. It went okay.
It's all right. All right, here's the test.
It tastes really good. It could be a little firmer, but I mean, for just water, chickpeas, and a couple seasonings, it's really good. Asparagus, Brussels sprouts, baked potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, corn, chickpea patties, and of course, a few more chickpea patties still going, and some for later.
And we for our heads, we bow for food and drink. Now you now in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, and that sums up our first full day of eating
on the Daniel fast. We did have some pineapple for dessert, and we had some raisins for a snack at one point that we didn't show on the actual video, I guess, or at least on parts of the video. You're probably seeing those things now. But it was really that simple. Everything you saw is what we ate today, and we drank a lot of water. The Daniel fast is really that simple, but it's a great way to connect to God, and we're using it as a way to start off this year right. To start it off by looking to God, seeking God, and trying to draw closer to God to find His will for our lives in 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I pray that you'll like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things, that you'll follow along with us on this journey. We're going to come back for the next 3 weeks with a video every single week talking about how that week has gone on the Daniel fast. And I hope that you'll join us for those videos. And we're also going to be trying to do all sorts of videos throughout this new year, all different faith-based things, all different vlog-style content, and we hope to see you along for all of it. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and God bless. Alexa, turn all the lights off.
Okay.